Welcome back to Tuesdays with Tim, the podcast that touches on all things related to brain injuries among children and those who've been impacted by my son Luke. Today we have a very special guest, Carrie Meyer. Carrie, how are you?
I'm doing great, Tim.
You are someone that just exudes just happiness and your personality and your enthusiasm. And to give everyone a little bit of a backstory, I actually flew to, well, I guess I would have flown to South Dakota, right?
Yeah, Sioux
And
Falls.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and then drove to Okoboji, Iowa, and had a wonderful time. That's where we first met. And at that time, I came to visit your clinic. You and your husband, Dr. Brad Meyer, started the Okoboji Wellness Clinic in 2022. And I was there and was just so impressed with what you were doing. And I assume now, what, 2.5 years later, it looks different. And overall, I assume you've been seeing so many different patients. So if you don't mind just kind of sharing what you do at the clinic and how you're helping so many families.
Yeah, my husband, Dr. Meyer, and I, we started the clinic in 2022. And what it is it's an integrative clinic. My husband is a board certified family practice physician. He also served our country in the United States Air Force. And he's a native Iowan. And after serving our country, we moved back here to Northwest Iowa and creating this clinic. And the idea is that our clinic is a place where we like to get to the root cause of illness. And part of that is Dr. Myers really an integral part about helping patients be a bridge between traditional medicine and functional medicine. So he does use pharmaceuticals, but he also uses nutraceuticals to help the body heal. And he always uses a lot of different tools in his toolbox, is what he always talks about. So there's a lot of different tools at our facility. We have 7,000 square feet, and many different tools that he uses to help the body heal. Some of those tools include hyperbaric air therapy. We use mild soft chambers to be able to do that. We use red light therapy. We use PEMF therapy. We also have a massage therapist, Janet Gentle, who specializes in cranial sacral for traumatic brain injuries.
Mhm.
And also, she also does lymphatic massage. We also do have an incredible device called IASIS, which is a neurobiofeedback, which helps the body heal. In addition to that, we also have other therapies such as ozone therapy. We can also do IV ozone, um, and a lot of different other tools that we use, Tim.
It sounds like a one-stop shop for anyone. And so the patients that come in, children, adults, what kind of I guess therapies do you feel like you use the most at your clinic?
Yeah, a lot of I would say that probably the top three is hyperbaric air therapy, also the IASIS for the neurobiofeedback to help the brain and the body to heal itself. And then also ozone therapy is integrative, along with looking at nutrition. One of the really great things too that we've used, especially for traumatic brain injury patients and their families, is Dr. Mark's um, grief trauma loss therapy with helping walk with them in regards to even just traumatic events and how that affects their lives. And so Dr. Mark, I know, plays an integral part with Team Luke, just helping walk them with, how do we process that, the loss of, just the changes in your family life. And so Mark actually drives here from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, on Thursdays. And so a lot of the families that come here, they'll spend 2 to 3 weeks, and really kind of peeling that onion back to get to kind of the root cause and see what kind of therapy Dr. Meyer puts together a plan, a wellness plan, and then we start therapies. And so yeah, it is kind of a one-stop shop in the aspect that we can use many different tools to help the body heal from a mind, the body, and the spirit.
Well, and Dr. Mark, who you mentioned, has helped me personally, getting through, giving me tools to help me through my grief. And so we're just so blessed to have him involved with Team Look for Minds. He's done some support groups, and I look forward to having him on my podcast as well. You and your team came to our conference in 2023 and set up some great things, and a lot of people continue to talk about that, and we're just so blessed to have. Number one, for me to have been there, but also for you to come to Austin. And so, what have you learned just about Team Look Hope for Minds that you'd like to share as well?
Yeah, that was one of the most special trips. We packed up a trailer full of equipment to bring to the families to give them just a couple days of reprieve. When we got to sit there and just to get to meet the families and just to show support that they're not walking along by themselves, that there's other families. When we were even at the hotel watching them, just realize that they're not alone in this walk of this hard, and that there's a lot of practitioners out there, whether they're in New Orleans to Texas to Okoboji, Iowa, that there's a lot of practitioners who want to walk with them in helping their bodies heal and helping their loved ones. And just the love and the support, and just getting to see these families realize that there is so much love and support for them. That was absolutely special, Tim. And just to give them a resource to realize, oh, I wouldn't have thought about this, or what's worked for your family, what's worked for mine. Where are the places that we can go? And I've seen great results with this, or this didn't work for my kid, but this one worked for, maybe call this practitioner. And so it's this really collaborative approach to helping these families get through their hard.
At your clinic, do you see mostly children, adults, a little bit of both?
Well, you know what? We see all types. We see, young kids to aging kids, and people come here from all over, from Orange County, California to actually this week we have a traumatic brain injury adult who's here for 6 weeks from Charleston, South Carolina. So
Mhm.
we see people all over the country who come here. Yeah.
I think the one thing that certainly I learned from day one, and so many families now have learned, is that the brain can heal. And Luke's accident was an anoxic injury. And we were told Luke would never use his limbs, use his voice, or open his eyes. And of course, he did all three. And I assume that you not only know that, but you have seen some incredible progress while those have been at your clinic.
We sure have. We've seen children who have had a brain injury from like cerebral palsy, and after 20 hyperbaric treatments, the 10-year-old was able to tell their mother, "I love you." You want to talk about tears? When this mom had no hope of thinking that their child was never going to be able to speak. More recently, within the last 2 months, we had a state championship football player who was at our clinic and had a concussion. And after using our IASIS and hyperbaric therapy and red light therapy, he was able to play in the championship football game within, 5 to 7 days at our clinic. That was pretty remarkable. The quicker we can get him into the therapy, and letting that body heal, it's pretty incredible the results we can get.
So it started in 2022. What made you and your husband come up with this idea?
Yeah, with the Okoboji Wellness Clinic is Dr. Meyer always knew that there was something else out there, and he's always been searching for different ways to help the body heal, and not just pharmaceuticals. He was looking at natural ways. And um, part of, during COVID, it opened his eyes. He was one of the first physicians in the state of Iowa helping people even with COVID with ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, looking at even at hyperbarics as an option to help the body heal from inflammation from COVID. And we saw incredible results for that. So, we started this clinic in 2022 and have continued to be able to bless people, um, to help them heal and help their families heal and get to the kind of the root cause instead of just putting on band-aids. We really want to look at nutrition, look at exercising, look at the mental health side of things of wellness. And, by doing a private practice here in Okoboji, it really gives Dr. Meyer the time. His first appointments are an hour. In the traditional system, he was only really allowed in 7-minute appointments. And in 7 minutes, he really couldn't get to the root cause of what was causing the body to be inflamed. And so this has really allowed us to have that personal physician-patient relationship, which is really a critical role, an important cornerstone of our practice.
I've been to quite a few clinics over the last 9 years, but your clinic was so impressive because I think not only did I see the hyperbaric chambers, but like we talked about earlier, all of the different therapies and opportunities to heal. You also mentioned that you've had patients or you have some patients that are coming for extended periods of time. What for those that are listening that would want to bring their child or an adult that would come, would you suggest? And I know it depends on the patient, but you do have patients though that come for more than just a day or even a week.
Yeah, we sure do. So some patients, so Dr. Meyer does a 15-minute complimentary call called the Discovery Call, and that is free of charge. He normally does that at the end of his day, so that the parents can call and talk with him to kind of discover what here's our situation. What would you recommend in our situation? And so some patients he will say it's probably going to take a week to 2 weeks or whatnot. And then we do have an incredible team with facilities here in the Lakes area where you can, we've kind of collaborated with local hotels, VRBOs, places for people to stay. We even have church camps up here who've collaborated with us to find, accommodations while people come up here to Lake Okoboji to stay while they're getting treatments. It's really been a beautiful thing that this community has supported us in providing accommodations for them to come. And so that discovery call really kind of gives patients the opportunity to see what that might look like and to kind of give them a little bit of a roadmap of what kind of services they may receive when they're here in Okoboji. One other thing I would tell you, Tim, is that a lot of our tools that we use here at Okoboji Wellness Clinic, people can take home with them. So if they come and after using our mild hyperbaric chambers, we can ship them the mild hyperbaric chambers, and Dr. Meyer's nurse, Nicole, she can do a virtual setup, and we teach people how to use the wellness tools at home. And so, a lot of the PEMF and different modalities, they can take their wellness into their homes and teaching parents how they can help in their wellness walk with their kids too.
Well, Carrie, you and Dr. Meyer have just done tremendous things for so many families, and I would certainly ask those that are listening to look at the Okoboji Wellness Clinic. First of all, it's a beautiful city. I was just loved being there. It was just so pretty with the water and just everything about it. But I just want to continue to promote what you're doing because it's tremendous, and I wish you all the best. And I look forward to getting back there at some point soon. And Carrie, thank you so much for not only what you do, but for also being a good friend. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure. We're better together to help bring hope, healing, and hyperbarics to the world. It's
Amen. Thanks again.
my pleasure.
Thank you for joining us on Tuesdays with Tim. If you found today's episode helpful, please be sure to follow and share so others can find support. For additional resources and support, visit teamlukehopeforminds.org. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. If you have a story you would like to share or a topic you would like for us to cover, please reach out. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Together, we can continue to raise awareness and support for families caring for children with brain injuries. Until next time, take care and keep fighting like Luke.